Hey Meena, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great, but I want to know about sovereignty. It just seems to be a really hot topic at the moment. Why is it suddenly so important?
It's become a priority for a lot of our customers because cloud, data, and AI is now an economic currency for a lot of our customers, and including like governments and national security agencies. They want to be able to protect their data, but still be able to innovate and be part of the global economy. And protecting that asset is critical for them. There's a lot of bifurcation of regulatory rules coming in. Every day there's like laws being put in place, the cybersecurity that's becoming a challenge, and then the geopolitical volatility is challenging for our customers. So all this kind of stems into the challenge where customers want to protect their asset, their data, their IP, while still being able to innovate and be in the cutting edge and contribute to the global economy.
And use their cloud for what it was designed for, which is collaboration and innovation.
Yes, exactly.
But, I mean, it's one of the most complicated environments to work in ever. I mean, at a technology level where it's a software world, hundreds of different providers. At a sovereignty level, you're talking about different geographies. You're talking about different regulatory environments. You're talking about a changing governmental environment. How do you keep up with that on behalf of your customers? I mean, what do you do in order to make sure that that sovereignty remains intact?
Yeah, so the way we think about sovereignty is to ensure that we empower our customers with the tools and capabilities that allow them to build sovereignty at every layer of their application development, the technology stack. So that way they have the controls that they need. They can exercise the level of control that they need to meet the varying range of sovereignty and regulatory needs that keep coming up.
Right.
Every day there's like new rules and laws and enforcements coming in, and we don't want to change the architecture every day.
Yeah.
So we give those controls for our customers so that they can leverage them depending on the industry that they're part of, whether it is in public sector, whether it's in national security, depending on the workload classification. They have those controls to be able to exercise the level of sovereignty that they need for their workloads.
So I'm just trying to imagine what this is like. If I'm say a carrier, an operator, they have to deal with sovereignty, but they also have to manage the network, and orchestration is already complicated as enough without adding another task in a separate pane, as it were. Have you integrated this so that the orchestration and the sovereignty management is in one place?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we are building in sovereignty controls at every layer in the technology stack so that the operators can execute that sovereignty controls for the workloads that they're building. Think about at the infrastructure layer, we're bringing in confidential compute, we're building data guardian, we're providing more visibility to auditable logs that is maintained in the Azure region. Yeah. We're giving more extension to bring private cloud as well. So depending on the type of workload sensitivity and data classification, you can leverage the public cloud, or you can also have the private cloud, which is built on Azure Local, which is an extension of Azure into the customer's data center as well. So as we think about the carriers who are the partners who are national providers for government and national defense kind of customers, they want to be able to exercise the varying levels of sovereignty and data residency depending on the sector that they fulfill. So they can choose to run that in the public cloud, or they can choose to leverage our sovereign private cloud.
Amazing.
And be able to take advantage of these controls no matter where they run it. And we're able to bring this even a step further to provide an air gap solution. So if this is highly classified workloads and that cannot leave the jurisdictions, then we give a piece of Azure to be deployed on premises without ever having to leave that premises ever.
At all?
At all. It's born disconnected, forever disconnected.
Wow.
And we provide the capability to get security patches, updates, licensing, everything without having to connect to the public cloud at all.
So that's a lot of work, and that's a lot of technology. As you know, carriers don't like they don't mind the work. They don't want to spend a lot more money on technology, particularly after 5G. it seems like you could kind of turn this around for them and make this into a way for them to differentiate their business and charge more for these services. Is that what a part of the plan?
So we're trying to meet the carriers in halfway. No, we really know how to build hyperscale solutions, like the Azure services and capabilities. No, that is our bread and butter. We know how to make that happen. So we are bringing all of those Azure capabilities to the customer's data center for on-prem. Carriers know the end users. They know the type of workloads, they know the type of controls customers need, and so that specialization is the secret sauce that our partners can bring on top of our infrastructure and be able to provide that end solution for the customer, no matter which industry that they're being part of.
So they're embedded in the vertical industry. They have that area knowledge, and you're coming in as hyperscalers do with a horizontal solution which is fully integrated, and then you work together as an ecosystem.
Exactly, and that's why we are here at MWC, is to kind of collaborate with our partners and see how we can build a go-to-market solution for all the right end users and customer workloads.
The value of what you're doing is incredibly high, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, because the downsides, I mean, the liability issues in terms of sovereignty are just absolutely huge. So, I give Microsoft huge credit for getting really stuck into the middle of this with such a well-integrated solution.
Thank you. I mean, this is an exciting time.
It is.
I mean, it's been, the last few years has been about AI and agentic AI, and now we're kind of being able to apply sovereignty on top of that AI. So customers feel that their data is protected. They're able to make the decision where they want to build it, where they want to run it, and where they want to deploy it. All with that is the control that we want to empower our customers with. And then together with the carriers, we're able to get to those customers faster. So this is exciting times, and we're only starting to scratch the surface.
Amazing. Meena, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you very much.